What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I haven't been excited to put out one of these videos in a while, so here we go. So we'll be looking at Medusa, basically a comprehensive guide on how to counter her. And the thing that you have to, the most notable thing is her signature ability that with 3 Furies she can auto block, which can trigger parry. Now we'll go over things you should know about her auto block, how to counter her, and then 3 good champ matchups. So one of the things that you should notice about Medusa is that when you go in with a Mystic champ, you'll start off with a little bit of power. It's probably due to her signature ability somehow interacting with Mystic Dispersion. So as you can see, she's gaining a Fury every 3 seconds, and then Living Strand is supposed to last 14 seconds. So originally I thought if you nullify 1, you should be able to get down to 2 Furies and the timer will still keep going down. But in fact, it actually doesn't go down, and it just restarts the Infinite Fury. Another thing here is that combos carry over into Living Strands. So I'll put it in slow motion, and as you can see, medium, she gets Living Strands, and I hit a light, and I get auto blocked. Alright, and the last thing you should know is that Medusa can also auto block mid specials. So I'll show you right here, and she auto blocks. And not only that, but Medusa is also programmed that if you try to hit her after an auto block and she leaves herself open, she will parry you. Alright, so we've gone over the things that you should know. Another thing is that you can't, she can auto parry even while she's stunned. So here we go, countering her. So the first one is hitting into her block. And this fight was from an Alliance War video where this is actually where I found out that the combos carry into Living Strands. So this node is 24, has Limber, Recovery, and Buffet. So I go in Void, and I need to not parry too much because of Limber. So here I'll be showing you guys, and this is more of an experience thing. New player will not be able to do this very readily because you have to learn the AI to learn when you can go in to hit her against her block. So as you can see, every time I get a chance to hit her into her block, I'm doing that, and what this is doing is it's buying me time for the Living Strands to wear off. And so as you can see, I thought right there, that's where I found out that combos carry over is in this fight, because I thought I have enough time and then I could watch out for the Living Strands and then just stop the combo. So as you can see, every chance that I get to hit into her block, I'm doing so, and it's buying me tons of time so as to not get backed up into the corner. Now preferably you do want to bait the special ones, just because the SP2 can sometimes be tricky, where you can get caught trying to evade her, and the SP2 after it's finished does stun. Alright, so that fight's over, and I'll show you guys in the duel. So actually here's my second tip I found this out after my first fight against a Medusa a couple wars ago. And so basically the trick here is to use heavy attacks. So I found out that heavy attacks actually do not trigger auto block at all. One of the arguments was that heavy attacks count as one hit altogether, even multiple hit heavy attacks. Alright, so she's almost back up to her living strands, and as you can see, parry, heavy. And this method is best used with champions that lunge themselves forward through their heavies. Alright, so Captain America with his signature ability, as you guys know, when they have buffs active, he gets increased block proficiency, or perfect block, which extends parry time. So here's a heavy, no auto block. Here's parry, hit, heavy, so that's 2 hits, and you don't see any auto block. So this is Quickshot's Medusa. He has a channel too, so thanks to him I was able to test the stand your ground mastery if it were to be used defensively. So some of you guys may know that sometimes when you're playing Archangel and the opponent has stand your ground, Archangel will sometimes get stunned. So this is one of the reasons that was delayed, just because I needed to test stand your ground before I put out the video. But yeah, stand your ground does not help the auto block feature. Alright, so on to my third tip, and this one's pretty useful and it's somewhat champion specific. So normally you wouldn't go in with just any champion into a Medusa fight in Alliance War. You'd preferably like to take a counter, especially on a mini or a boss, since you know who it is. But here what we're doing is brute forcing the auto block. So what we're doing is, first of all, we're not using the special in the corner because of the amount of push that special attacks give. And so as you can see, I'm backing off and then using the special attack. And there we go, we got another auto block. And so what this is doing is she is using her special attacks, I'm using special attacks in order to force her to auto block. Alright, so there we have it. And the most important tip, the most important thing to note about this is that not all special attacks are created equal. So just because you use a special attack doesn't mean you won't get hit back. Some champs, their special attacks push the opponent back far enough or yourself far enough that you won't get hit. So that's like, for example, I believe Star-Lord's Special 2 does it. His SP1, Stark and Spider-Man's SP1 and SP2 both put an insane amount of distance between the opponent after their attacks. Alright, so now we're going to get into some of the Alliance War matchups. Now, I'm not going to put all of them in on video just because there's so many that I think video it would be too long. Now, Ghost Rider is probably one of the best, or at least at the top, because all his special attacks you can use to either to force her to auto block, like the special 1 and special 2. The special 1, if it does succeed, will Fate Seal, and then the special 2 can push her back far enough. Not to mention, if you're running Mystic Dispersion, I run at Mystic Dispersion level 5, so for Ghost Rider, getting his specials off is kind of important. And then if you get to an SP3, SP3 has both a Fate Seal and a Power Lock. Now, there are other matchups that I didn't include here. For example, Mephisto, who prevents Medusa's Furies from ever coming up. Then there's also Morningstar, who, if you guys haven't checked out YeetOS, check him out on YouTube. He's had a Medusa boss solo with Morningstar, and I believe it was something crazy like 40 hits maybe with a Morningstar. Alright, so as you can see, I used the special 3, and I have the Fate Seal and the Power Lock from the Damnation, and you can just get into a groove and actually lock her into her corner. Alright, and next up you got Hood. Hood, with his critical hits, he applies a stagger, which both heal him and would feed the Mystic Dispersion, and then that would help him get to his special 2, which would plays a Hex, which removes all buffs and lowers ability accuracy, and while also getting him into invisibility, where he has a little bit more critical damage. Alright, so that's the Hood fights. Another really good matchup is actually Hyperion. And now this is a video sent over by Cameron in 4Loki. He's got a 5-star rank 5 Hyperion that he uses to solo Medusas as Alliance War bosses or minis. And so what you have to do is, in between the medium or whenever you get that opening, use your heavy. And Hyperion is one of the few champions who benefits a lot from using heavies. So you can see he has a couple Furies up. He uses special 3, which will give him his cosmic charges, which also give him physical resistance and more attack power. You can see there he got a 10k crit on there, and he's just using heavy attacks, which whenever he launches his special 3, he'll do an insane amount of damage. Now, if you combine all the tips that I've talked about, Medusa shouldn't be that big of a problem anymore. Obviously, just watching the video is not going to make you an expert, because there are some things with the AI that you learn through experience on how they will react and everything. So for example, there was a 4-star Medusa on Node 24, and 4 stars a Sparky can outdamage the regen. So usually you would go in with Void, most likely, if it was a Medusa, but because it was 4-star, I was hitting into her block, and eventually I was able to get to an SB2 and land enough hits that I got the kill on Medusa on 24 with Sparky. So as you can see, he got the solo. Great job, Cameron. He's an awesome player. He's got a channel, I believe it's like MCOC Milestones, his channel is called. Alright, and yeah, that's pretty much it to the video. Unfortunately, you know, I can't go too in detail into everything as much as I could. There are different champions that, based on their special attacks and heavies, you can use it to your advantage to give yourself more time, so that you can attack, or so that the Furies wear off. And yeah, so if you combine all this along with the experience from Alliance War, Medusa's overtime with the experience should no longer be too big of a problem. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making this video. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you like what you saw, share it with a friend. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah!